Hey kids, welcome.
Yes.
Radio.
So we're doing our open right now. It's 5:30.
Ish.
5:32, 5:33.
The today's Q106 morning show.
Good morning.
It is Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I know, it's all a blur. Yesterday was not a Monday. It felt like a Friday with everything we were announcing.
Oh, my Lord, yes.
From Jason Aldean to giving away Farm Aid tickets to the final ways you can win the farm tour tickets.
To me being naked.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
The big reveal.
Yes, there's just so much stuff that was going on. Big day, big day. Today we're going to dial it down. We're all just going to take a nap today.
Well, today's Tantrum Tuesday.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So, especially for you parents, we love hearing the tantrums that your kid put you through. I can't believe they were having a tantrum over that, and they were doing so in front of so-and-so. Whatever the story is, we love hearing from you. 608-321-1063.
And we're, of course, going to have those Farm Aid tickets again today, and then some tickets for you to get into our tailgate. This for Text Trivia. Big prize for Text Trivia at the end of the day. If you want to go to today's Q106 Liney's VIP tailgate, thank you so much to Kalani Topsoil and Coaches Club. Got a chance for that. So, I mean, it's another big day. It's a big week. There's a lot of stuff going on the rest of this month. It's an action-packed couple of weeks here we got.
So every morning around this time, Jackson and I record our daily podcast, and we do so off-air, but you can watch it and be part of it on our Facebook page. Today's Q106 on Facebook. We're on Facebook Live right now, and it's Career Day.
This is pretty neat. I'm pretty excited that I could be in this video with you.
Yeah. So my high school that I grew up through, Mukwonago High School that I graduated from, they asked me, hey, can you come and be part of our Career Day in October? I said, no, because I'm on the morning show, but why don't I record it for you? And then you can see the inside of the studio. You can see how Jackson and I talk off air, how we plan stuff for the show, and then our live feeders right now, you get to ask the questions. Pretend you're a high school student.
Yeah.
And ask us questions.
And if you ever want to look inside the studio, jump on Facebook right now. We're going to be firing that up right now. And if you ever have any questions about us in here, this is the time to ask them. Right now, we're going to kick things off here with Matt Stell. We had him for today's Q106 end of summer cruise. So much fun.
Yes.
Prayed for you, today's Q106. Pray for Steph. Just deal with me every day. All right. Let's see here. Pop, pop, pop.
So right now we're getting our podcast set up.
Switching the board over.
Switch the board a little bit. Couple different buttons.
And we're back to school.
All right. So we are recording this on our podcast, but also through our video for the high school I grew up in and graduated from, Mukwonago High School. They asked if I could come to their career day and talk about radio. And I said, you know what? I can't because it's during the morning show, but I could do one better. Why don't I do a little video? So the kids can watch us in studio, see what a radio station kind of looks like, see how Jackson and I interact, and how radio is not how old school radio used to be. There's so many different elements. I mean, look at us right now. We're on Facebook. We're recording a podcast while we're doing a morning show. So it's not just as simple as it used to be.
I was posting or talking about people recognizing the way that I look. And someone said, well, what do you mean you're on radio? And I said, no, we're on social media.
Yeah.
We need to be out there and have our faces out. So it's a bit different than being just behind a microphone. You're also sometimes in front of a camera. And like Steph said, and you're doing multi things at one time because as technology is changing, you have to be ready to change with that as well. As soon as Facebook Live became available, I started using it here in the studio because I knew that was what was going to start becoming big.
Yeah.
You know, when people get up in the morning, they don't really have a clock radio sitting next to them anymore. They're woken up by their cell phones. And a lot of times, they're checking Facebook and social media.
Exactly.
And if they can see us first thing in the morning, they'll turn us on in the car.
Yes.
Got to get up in their faces to get up in their ears.
So right now we're on Facebook Live, and that's where people are making comments. You won't see this in the final video that we're posting to YouTube, but I wanted people to ask the questions that you high school students might be asking. Kathy says, Steph, you look good in purple and white. Those were my school colors. Well, Kathy, the reason I'm wearing this for Career Day is this is the college that I went to, UW Whitewater. Woo, go Warhawks. So
Well, what is Mukwonago's colors?
Mukwonago is blue and gold.
Could put some blue and gold on?
Well, because I wanted to tell the high school students you can go into radio several different ways. I went through radio in college. That's how I fell upon radio. Hands-on experience, learning radio versus TV, did internships, knew where I wanted to land was more radio. After doing TV news, I was like, that's way too serious for me. I'm too bubbly and outgoing. I need radio.
you can't be laughing and goofing around too much
Exactly.
in TV news.
But you know what was funny? One of our favorites, Charlotte how do you pronounce her last name? Deleste. Thank you for that.
It's a slice of all right.
She posted a funny photo yesterday, and it was a story we shared on our news segment about don't kiss chickens. She was like 25 years in journalism, and it was her with a screenshot behind of her saying, don't kiss chickens. There she is reporting the news about don't kiss chickens.
That's hard-hitting, non-kissing chicken news.
Right.
That's one of the services we provide, is letting you know the things that you didn't know. And one of them now today is, kids, whatever it is you decide to do in your lives, don't kiss chickens. Something you should learn.
Right. So whatever you end up doing, I always recommend trying to get hands-on experience, because in my brain, I'm like, oh, TV will be great. I can be a news reporter. I'll be like April from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then I did it. I'm
Was she ever on TV? Because she spent
yes.
way more time with those turtles than she did. I never saw her on a screen.
Yeah, she was
She
on
always
a
had
screen.
a trench coat on.
That's where
and was
Michelangelo, remember, was watching. I was like, oh, April.
Oh, because I never saw her, because when you're if you watch Charlotte Deleste, one of our favorites, she's dressed to the nines.
Yes.
She's not walking around wearing a trench coat, hanging out in sewers with dirty turtles all day.
And then Jackson's way of getting into radio was a different avenue.
I just showed up on Free Radio Show Day. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I got a chance to, through whatever reason, to be on a morning show, and then realized that this was my chance to do something I've always wanted to do, so I grabbed a hold of it with both hands. And when you talk about hands-on experience, I was lucky enough to have people to teach me how to radio, because I did not go to college at all.
But you were a yes man, and
Yes.
that's another thing. You have to
Yes.
be a yes man. So if somebody says, hey, you want to try this? Say, sure. I'll be honest, I might not know how to do it, but show me and I'd love to try it. And that's how I built my resume in radio too. They're like, you want to be a traffic reporter? I'm like, sure. I don't know how to do it, but show me and I'll start.
I will say the one thing that stinks, I'll use a different word, about my track and other people's is when I tell people about that, their next question is, hey, are they hiring right now?
Yeah.
You know, I work in a factory. Can I come in and do that? And I always say, I'm not insanely talented. I just caught lightning in a bottle and was able to have an opportunity that most people don't. But 99% of the time, when they're going to look at a resume, they want to see some kind of communications on that resume.
Yes.
I know that there's a thing of, you don't need to go to college to blah, blah, blah. Whatever that saying is, sure, if you want to swing a hammer and do that kind of stuff, but if you want to get into one of these buildings here, having a degree of some type is going to be very, very handy. Mm-hmm. So I was just able to do it because due to me being a stage performer, I was able to turn that into being an off the stage, performer. Because one thing I will say this, and you're good, Steph. You're one of the most talented people, the most talented person I've ever worked with. College can teach you how to push the buttons. They can teach you how to run the computers. They can teach you dictation and all that stuff. There is not a class called Be Entertaining.
Yes.
Either you have
a personality.
That's right. Either you have a personality and entertaining, or you don't. Now, you can take an improv class and learn that.
Yes, and
which I highly recommend.
Yes, yep, exactly. There's different avenues, and us being on radio, there's a lot of things behind the scenes in radio too. Looking at our Facebook Live feeders, they're asking some good questions. I like Helen. She's pretending to be one of the high school students.
I like this, yeah. Helen's got some good questions here.
So she was asking, how do you get an internship? Well, when you're in college, they set those up for you. They're like, okay, it was actually a credit. You need to go get an internship. So reach out to your local radio stations, your local TV stations, and internship programs differ depending on which groups you're looking at. But
Now, one of our other stations used to have a guy. He was kind of a chunky flunky, as to use an old radio term. He was a guy that ran into the morning show at a bar, and he goes, "I want to be your intern." And they went, "Are you in college?" He said, "No." And they went, "Okay." But then once they found out he wasn't getting college credit and he wasn't being paid
correct.
to be in,
Yes.
they could have gotten in trouble. They had to kind of
Yes.
change things around
Yeah.
a little bit. One thing I will say with interns, if you can find a long-term internship, that same show had a young lady who was an intern for almost 2 years. She was able to continue coming back because one of the issues you'll have with getting an internship with radio is they're going to train you, and then 5 months later, you're gone. And they're going to train somebody else. So radio stations don't really do a lot of that as much anymore. On-air type stuff. You can get an internship doing street teamer stuff, but if you can find a way to stay with the internship for a long period of time, you'll have a bit more luck grabbing those.
Yeah, so looking at our, here, I wonder if we could show them the computer a little bit for the video screen, just so Mukwonago High School students can see the computer that we use. So this is what I'm looking at right now, and it's counting down. We're going to be back on air in 1:45 here. And there's our talk break. So I'm just kind of glancing back and forth between that, and then here's our live Facebook page with the comments that are coming in right now, asking questions that you might be thinking about right now while you're watching this video.
Now, I'll show you my side here, and I feel bad that I have more screens. It's not a sexist thing by any means. It's just that I run the board, and I kind of usually have. So over here, this computer screen, same one that Steph has, that runs what songs are coming up, what commercials are coming up, and all that stuff. We can look at the whole day there. Over here on this screen is what's being recorded right now in the podcast. So that's what's going on in there. And then again, the Facebook, we call that our Facebook, our social media. We can pull up the weather over there, our text line. We have many different programs that we use. Sorry, podcast, because my voice is so far away now on the recorded podcast here.
Okay, so it looks like some good questions. Oh yeah, Northwoods John, trades are always a good road as well if you are willing to work, for sure.
But I will say this, if you're going to go into the trades, get a degree of some type. As I worked in landscaping, and we saw guys coming in that had a degree that were taking the manual labor jobs away from guys that normally wouldn't have a problem to do it, problem getting those jobs. And the bosses wanted to hire those college degree guys because they could then get them into management positions. And the rest of us, not really, we had to work a little bit harder because they didn't know, you're good with your back, but are you good with your brain? So it's always, Madison College is great programs. All right, jumping on air, we do a radio show here. Today's Q106 morning show with Jackson and Steph. Today is going to be another nice day, but foggy. Wasn't bad driving in, but the fog is, at least when I came in, but it is going to be a problem for you. High of 78, and when it's gone, sunny. It's going to be nice. 62 at 5:45.
Well, in case you missed it, yesterday was a big day. We announced Jason Aldean is coming on tour. And when we first saw his name, we started thinking, oh, I bet he's going to go to Milwaukee. And then we saw Madison. He's coming into the Alliant Energy Center in March. We're so excited to welcome Jason Aldean back to Madison.
Yeah, and, we gave away, so we have some tickets to give away. Someone said we have one pair of tickets. Now we're saving those.
Yes.
For the end of the week. You got a chance to get them because this week you can buy them on Friday at 10 a.m. They go on sale to the general public. We're going to give you a chance to win those before you can buy them, but this show will 100% sell out. No doubt in my mind, this show's going to sell out. So Friday when they go on sale, you want to make sure you're near your computer.
But wait, Jackson.
What, Steph?
If you're a member of today's Q106 Country Club, you're going to get our pre-sale. That happens on Thursday. So I'm going to remind you again and again, if you're like, what? Country Club? Oh, crap, I haven't signed up for that yet. Just text the word JOIN to 608-321-1063. You're going to want to do that today because we get you all the info tomorrow for the pre-sale. That'll happen on Thursday, okay?
Yeah, great chance to get those tickets before everyone else does, but then Friday they go on sale to everyone else. And I honestly would expect by Saturday the show to be sold out. This is going to be a big one.
There's some great comments on our Facebook page when we announced it yesterday. I'm going to read Gina's to wrap it up here.
Okay.
You can always identify an Aldean song. Always starts slow, mysterious, smoky, like a slowly turning disco ball at a quiet pool hall. Isn't that good?
Wow. She wrote a poem on Jason Aldean.
I think that's a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she already bought 2 tickets with that post right there.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah, that's good.
So we have a lot going on with the different buttons, and something that really helped me when I started was I said, there's a lot of buttons here. And someone said, it's much easier when you realize how many buttons you don't use.
Exactly.
And I went, oh yeah, okay,
Yes,
great. And now I'm like,
yes.
yeah, I don't know what any of those things do. I don't touch them.
I know. And that's, going back to something I was saying. Radio is not just about people who are in front of the microphone. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
if you're kind of a party planner, promotions, you're definitely want to get into promotions.
I need someone to carry stuff for me. No.
Oh my gosh. No, knock it off. So that's who kind of puts together the fun concert giveaways, being out and about in the community, and making sure we got all of that figured out, from the parades to the concerts, all of those fun things.
Handlers, as I like to call them
Yes.
sometimes. Like, I'm good at certain things, but I'm not exactly, Billy organized over here by any means at all. And one of the things that we have to do here is we have to plan events. And I complain about that the entire time I'm doing it, because I'm not good at that kind of stuff. People that are good at small details and making sure that this is talked to and this is checked and that's dotted,
Yes.
those are people that really make things run around here. And that a lot of the behind the scenes, our Bonnies, our Super Daves, our Christies over down at JJO, are the ones that really make sure all of these things run smoothly, so we can do our job and only worry about pretty much ourselves.
I'm trying to think if there's anything we haven't hit on to answer for you guys. Being a student looking at radio right now,
Well, let's see.
and any misconceptions I can.
Well, if you want to be a
Frustrating.
millionaire, go into radio. That's
Yes.
number one.
That's a huge misconception. Radio is not paid. I know back in the day, there was a morning show that would make millions. I mean, you hear of the Howard
Well,
Sterns, who are billionaires.
If you get into a huge market, Chicago,
But
Houston,
that's even false nowadays. So I thought that too, because there's market sizes in radio, and that's just based on the city that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, Madison, smaller, that's like market size 90 something, okay? Chicago is number 3, New York is number 2, and LA is number 1. Or those two kind of flip up
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like
sometimes. So San Diego is number 17. You think, oh, I'm going to get a big pay raise.
Oh, Steffi Stacks over here.
No.
Steffi Stacks.
And you know what was cool though, seeing that the people were getting into radio the same way in San Diego as they were here in Madison, Wisconsin. Some were getting in through college, and some were like Jackson, where it's like right place, right time, internship, doing the promotion stuff, being a street teamer, working your way up. So that was neat seeing. It's like, it doesn't matter about market size really anymore nowadays. So
Yeah.
I want to squash that misconception.
Absolutely. And one thing I will say is, I always joke around about that, but, we make a decent living. No one over here is getting rich, but you do it because you love it.
Yes.
You're not going to get up early in the morning if you don't love to do this. There was one time, though, we were out at an event, and a woman comes up to me. She goes, oh, and she was serious.
Okay.
100% serious. And she goes, is that your Jaguar in the parking lot? And I said, and at first,
Oh, my God.
I thought she was joking with me.
Oh.
And I went, what? And she goes, is that your Jaguar in the parking lot? So now I'm getting annoyed. And she goes, and I went, what are you talking about?
Yes.
Beautiful Jaguar in the parking lot. And she goes,
God.
that's, of all the cars, that one's yours, right? And she was serious. And I went, are you kidding me right now? I drove a Kia Soul here.
With a sloth sticker on the side.
But I think my car costs as much as one of the door handles on a Jaguar. Like, yeah, no, it's not my car. I was so irritated by that. I was like, thanks for reminding me that is not my car. Like,
Not good. Yes.
so yeah, you do it because you really love to do it.
Yep.
Because there's a lot more that goes on to it, and most anything. If you're trying to do anything for money, unless it's finance, do something else, because you're not going to find happiness in it.
Exactly. Is that a good way to wrap it up, Jackson?
Is it? I don't know. You tell me.
know.
This is your career day, Steph.
Okay, I'll end with Helen's question. What high school classes will prep you for the career?
Study hall.
No, theater. Stop.
Detention.
Theater. Would you not agree? So I went
Sure.
through the theater program
Nerd.
through Mukwonago High School, And going back to you saying improv, that's where I learned improv. That's where I learned being on stage. That's where I learned,
I learned a lot of this while I was hanging out by the gymnasium smoking. That's where I learned a lot.
Teachers are watching this, Jackson.
Don't smoke.
And don't vape.
Don't
either.
vape either.
Thank you.
But if you are, be the funny one.
Any arts programs.
Yeah, be
communication programs, creative programs, whatever Mukwonago High School still has. And if you become a thespian, look for my name signed somewhere.
Wait a minute. Did you graffiti Mukwonago High?
No.
Why is it?
You sign your name somewhere, but I
Really?
can't say where.
You're not allowed-
It's a secret.
Are you not allowed to say, or
Correct.
would you get in trouble?
No, you're not allowed to say once you become a thespian. I don't know if they still have it there, but
What in the world?
it's a secret club. Like, it's an honor to become a thespian, and there's like a ritual and
God, what a bunch of nerds.
dorks. We like being called dorks. Okay? Thank you guys for spending time with us, and go Mukwonago Indians! Woo!
Yeah, be a nerd.
A dork. You
Whatever.
just be you.
That's right. Sorry, I don't want that to come off as bullying. Yeah. Also, watch what you say on the internet because it can come back and get you in trouble sometime.
Oh, maybe I need to preface, Mukwonago Indians is still their name. Don't come calling at me like, oh, did Steph just say a slur or something?
Are they allowed? Are we allowed
are.
to? By the time the video is posted, it might not be. So just hold on to your gear. You guys are pretty soon going to be the Mukwonago We're Sorry.
Yeah.
What you're going to change your name to.